So, me being the foremost expert on Greek mythology in the world, I get a lot of questions like, who is the strongest Greek god? Could Hades beat Zeus? That sort of thing. And those questions are just so pedestrian, they're really not even worth answering. So instead, I want to answer the real important questions, like, which Greek gods smell the best? So the way we're gonna go about this is I'm gonna go with these one by one, imagining if you just walk up to a god and take a whiff. I'm just gonna imagine that and place them where I think they would deserve to be. And as you know, everything I say about Greek mythology is correct. If Homer disagrees with me, I'm sorry, Homer, you're wrong. All of my opinion, I don't have opinions on Greek mythology. I have facts on Greek mythology. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my case for where each god deserves to be, and then I'll look at chat and see what you guys think, if you have any dissenting opinions that might sway my view. Because like I said, when it comes to Greek mythology, whatever I decide is true immediately becomes true. So to start off, Aphrodite, obviously S tier. Like, she probably doesn't even have sweat glands. She probably just has microscopic bottles of Chanel No. 5 all over her skin. And there actually is information in Greek sources to support this. Now, in Greek sources, this is theory.com. It's got citations of a bunch of ancient Greek sources for Greek mythology. And in those Greek sources, you'll often see something described as fragrant. And usually that's to describe temples, because in temples, you have people burning incense or burning sacrificial offerings to the gods. There's a lot of, good smells in there, but sometimes the gods themselves are described as fragrant. So as you can see, Aphrodite, the crafty counsels, unfolded her snood and undid the fragrant clasps of her hair. So that's that. Case closed. Aphrodite, I do think, belongs in S tier. I just think that's very obvious. Now, does anyone disagree? Could you perhaps convince me to change the facts? Okay. Good point. Aphrodite did wash up on the sea. She literally formed in the ocean out of sea foam. So she could be kind of, those smells could be lingering. That is a good point. She's clearly, had plenty of showers since then. So should she be demoted to A tier? I think she's proven, like, she's literally the goddess of love and beauty and sexiness and all that. So I think she's proved that, she washed off the ocean musk. And I think she deserves her S tier. So now we're going on to Apollo. And now Apollo, he's like the embodiment of male youth. And I don't know about you, but when I think male youth, I think BO and Axe body spray. So, I mean, he gets around. He's got plenty of lovers, most consensual even, which, says a lot. So I do think he's a desirable, attractive guy. I think he deserves to be on this side rather than this side. B tier might be safest. What do you guys think? A tier, A or B? I'm gonna be generous and say A tier. I'm seeing A's, I'm seeing B's, I'm seeing a few C's, but I think A is safest for Apollo. Might be an A minus, but we're not gonna get that granular. Okay, now Ares. Easy D tier. He's just hot and sweaty all the time, does not shower, definitely does not shower. He substitutes Axe body spray for showers 100%. I don't think there's much even worth arguing here. Okay, it seems like we're all in agreement. Oh, he's got jock strap smell for days. Absolutely. Now, Artemis is interesting. She's out in the wilderness all day. She's probably running around getting a little musty. However, we do know that she does, I guess I'm gonna have to look for the citation, but we do know she takes baths, because there's a myth. Where can I find it? That's Athena. Good job, Jake. She was spied upon by Actaeon. I'm sure that pronunciation was perfect. Was spied upon the goddess as she was bathing with her nymphs at a spring. So clearly she bathes. So I think it's safe to put her in B tier. She bathes, but does she use soap? Good point. I think B tier is safe. Now, Athena, on the other hand, I think she is very fastidious. I think she's got a skincare routine. She flosses I think she's solid A tier. Does anyone else disagree? She obviously is a war god, so you know she does get in fights and stuff, and then she'll get stanky, but I think she goes straight to the showers after that. I'm seeing more B's than A for Athena, I think. All right, I'll concede. I'll put her in B tier. Demeter, on the other hand, I imagine she, you know, smells like just a nice warm loaf of bread fresh out of the oven. I think she smells lovely, I would imagine. And there is information in the text to support that. As you can see here, beauty spread around about her, and a lovely fragrance was wafted from her sweet-smelling robes. Also in the Homeric hymn to Demeter, it gets even more specific than that. When so she had spoken, the goddess took to her fragrant bosom. Yo, she got that fragrant bosom, though, right? I think she's S tier. Now, Dionysius. Dionysius, I imagine, smells like wine and various body fluids, possibly every body fluid. And some people might be into that, but would you want to be like sitting next to that person on the bus? I don't think so. So my instinct is to put him in C or D tier. However, I did see he does have a citation describing him as fragrant. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it wouldn't feel right, just knowing what he gets up to. It wouldn't feel right to put him on the higher side. So I'm still gonna say C tier. Being described as fragrant in Greek sources, that does give you points, but it won't make or break you. So C tier for Dionysius, I think, is safe. Hades, easy D tier. He is around dead people 24/7. That's his job. Does anyone disagree that Hades should be in D tier, absolute bottom, right next to Ares? Hades would actually smell like flowers because of Persephone? I don't think so. I'll get into Persephone. Yeah, okay, I think we generally agree Hades should be absolute D tier. Now there's Helios. He's the sun god. He's literally sitting there right in front of the sun, literally all day, every day. You know, he's got to care about, you know, protecting his skin. So just one whiff of him is probably like 40 SPF on its own. He's just covered in banana boat, which, you know, isn't bad, but it's definitely not a particularly pleasant smell. But that doesn't mean he has bad hygiene. Oh, he might get sweaty though. Do you think Helios gets pretty sweaty? I'm seeing mostly B tier. I'm leaning towards C. If it was just the sunscreen, he'd go in B tier, I think. But for the sweatiness, definitely, I think C tier is safe. Now, Hephaestus. I really don't want to do Hephaestus dirty because he's my favorite Greek god. I don't know why. He just seems like a nice guy. But, you know, he's working in his workshop all day. He's definitely working up a sweat. But he's married to Aphrodite, who is in S tier. Aphrodite messes around with Ares, who's in D tier. But she comes home to Hephaestus. So I think she would care about, you know, his hygiene. I think she would have like gotten him into a skincare routine. I think she would make sure he keeps up with his hygiene. You know, maybe they go on salon dates every now and then. I think Hephaestus has got to be a sweetheart. So I think he would play along because, you know, she enjoys it. So I think Hephaestus probably smells fine. I'm going to put him in B tier. Would anyone disagree? I will admit I'm probably biased, but I think this is a plausible result. I'm seeing a lot of people say C, but you know what? I am the final authority on all things Greek mythology. Like we said, everything that I say about Greek mythology is true. Whether, you know, it was always true or it just retroactively becomes true because I claimed it. So I'm gonna pull my executive privilege here and say Hephaestus is B tier. Now Hera, I don't think there is a citation for Hera being fragrant, but you know, Hera strikes me as someone who like sells soap on Facebook or something. I feel like she's got a side business selling homemade soap or essential oils or something. I feel like she's A tier. Does that sound right? It's not really based on anything concrete, definitely nothing from sources, but I just imagine she's a nice smelling person. Does anyone disagree? Imagine how horrible you would have to smell to get cheated on every 2 minutes. Good point. I'm not too sure about that though. I think most people are saying A, and that's the vibe I'm getting. She absolutely has an MLM scheme. Absolutely. Selling something like soap or whatever. Now Hermes, he's, you know, it's his job to run around all day, every day. So he definitely works up a sweat, but like Athena and Artemis, I do think he keeps up with his hygiene. Would anyone disagree? I think he would be B or C at worst. I'm seeing more C's than B's. I think I'll throw him a bone. I think I'll put him in B tier. Okay, now Hestia. I don't think the source is she's described as fragrant, but I think she deserves S tier because, you know, she's the goddess of the hearth, the home. She probably smells like baked cookies. I don't know. I just imagine she smells very nice. She gets a portion of every sacrifice made to other gods. She's thoroughly saturated in lovely sacrificial fragrances. I think S. I think S is very safe for Hestia. Oh, shit, I put both versions of Persephone in here. I'm just gonna pick one. I'm just gonna use this one. So Persephone is a little complicated because most of the year she's up with her mom in the real world. And then, like, you know, I imagine when she's up in the land of the living, you know, she's a frequenter at Bath and Body Works, you know. She wears nice perfume. She loves scented candles. But when she's down there, down in the underworld, she's with Hades, down with all the dead people, getting all saturated in dead people stank. And that probably takes a while to wash off. She spends a minimum of 4 months a year just down there with dead people. And I don't think that's going to come off with one shower. I'm compelled to average it out and put her in B or C tier. What do you guys think? It's looking all over the place for Persephone. Look, it probably gets real bad when she's been spending 4 months in the underworld. But then, you know, towards the end of the summer, she's probably up here. Yeah, it's looking all over the place for Persephone. I think C tier is the safest. But she's a hot goth girlfriend, so, you know, it's worth it. Now, this is Mnemosyne. I don't know why I put Mnemosyne here. I think I just like her because I'm proud that I can sort of pronounce her name properly.
Mnemosyne.
Shit. She's very obscure, but, you know, she's the Titan goddess of memory, which means she remembers to floss, to gurgle mouthwash, to wash her feet in the shower. Probably solid B tier. Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. How, like, our sense of smell is closely tied to our sense of memory. So if she's the goddess of memory, there's some connection you could draw there. I'll put her in A tier, sure. Then there's Pan, and I'm sorry, Pan. You're a goat man who lives in the forest and gets up to all sorts of lecherous activities. I'm thinking D tier for Pan. Like, I just think that's obvious, right? Yeah, people seem pretty firm on that Pan deserves D tier. Poseidon, definitely D tier. He's got to be D tier, right? He's in the ocean all the time. He just smells like fish. Yeah, okay. People seem to agree pretty strongly about Poseidon. I mean, the ocean does smell good, but when you're just in there all the time, like a beach might smell good, but like if you're like on like the docks or like near a fish market or something, I'd say C at the very highest for Poseidon. I think D. I'm seeing mostly C for Poseidon. All right, I'll put him in C. Now, Prometheus. He didn't get to shower for like a long time. When he was up on that rock with the eagle eating his liver, he had to do his business just there. Or I guess he wouldn't be eating, so I don't know if he would be excreting anything. I'm thinking C tier for Prometheus, right? I don't know if I'd go so far as D tier because he's just a guy. He's just a guy who didn't get to take a shower for a long time. Was he fed? Like, I don't know if he would be like pooping on himself that whole time as well. I'm seeing mostly D for Prometheus. All right, I'll put Prometheus in D. So now finally Zeus. For the sake of his many lovers, I want to believe that he smells all right, that he's like B tier. However, to me, Zeus feels like the embodiment of a guy who doesn't wash his ass when he showers. Does that make sense? I don't know if I would say D, but maybe C. I feel like C would feel best for Zeus. Okay, it's kind of all over the place for Zeus. I'm gonna say C. Wouldn't Hera make Zeus bathe? Do you think, does Zeus do anything Hera wants him to do? I don't think so. Yeah, I think C is safe for Zeus. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty happy with this as the definitive tier list for how the Greek gods smell. An actually important question to ask instead of just like, oh, could this god beat up this god? That's dumb. Don't ask me questions like that. These are the real hard-hitting questions. Okay, so I saw someone asking to see a cat, and since we're done here, I do want to give a little bonus surprise. This is Toasty. This is a cat I found by a dumpster. There's another cat that I found by the dumpster, but I got him just last night. This isn't my new cat. I'm not keeping Toasty. I'm looking, as we speak, I'm looking for someone who would be able to adopt him, or at least foster him and help find someone to adopt him. But yeah, since a lot of people seem to like, he looks just like my cat Penny. Pretty much the same kind of tabby, same colors. So yeah, this is a little bonus for those of you who stuck around after we finished the tier list. Hey, it's Jake from the future. My cybernetic enhancements were temporarily removed for recalibration, and I just wanted to give an update that Toasty and Dark Roast were adopted, and now they're with their new family. They're not named Toasty and Dark Roast anymore. Those were just placeholder names that I gave them, but you know, I don't want to dox them, and they'll always be Toasty and Dark Roast in my heart. Also, I didn't remember to make an outro for this video, so like, comment, subscribe, let me know if you like these tier list things. Bye.